What is going on, everybody? We are here today with the power rankings video. Week 7 was a crazy week, I'll be honest. Week 7 was pretty crazy. You can see some of the records shaking up, and my god, crazy week. Just looking at the standings, you see me and Tanner got another L, and your boy Chris got 2 dubs against the 2 top teams. So Chris is still in the playoff race. And the 2 games that he absolutely needed to win, like must-win scenarios for him to even have a chance, he won. So yeah, Chris, if he keeps up this momentum, I could see him taking a slot in the playoffs. But the race is close. We have a 3-way tie for 6th right now, which if it also ends in a 3-way tie, it's going to be pretty difficult to find out who makes that spot. Again, should have had differential, but, you know, figured out in the off season, you know. But me and Tanner 11-3. JC remains goes to 12-2. Last minute line noons 8-6. Brayley and Bambino 6-8. They still hover around that solid. The 4 and 5 seeds are like sitting solidly right now, but things can shake up. Daddy Diglets, Hartsville, Hitmontops, Carolina Conkelders, all tied in 6 and 5 and 9, and then B-Drill Bandits and Ash Ketchum's 4 and 10. Bandits went 0-2 in the week, and Ash Ketchum's Chris went 2-0, so he's on the come up. And again, the 2 hardest games for him to win, he won. So he beat me and Tanner, two of the 3 top teams. So, and I don't believe he plays JC the rest of the season. I think he plays these 4 as his last couple games, and they're all the people that he is competing with for playoffs. So definitely a promising outlook for Chris to make playoffs. If he starts one of these games, if he wins next week, 6-10. If he wins the week after that, 8-10. If he's 8-10, I don't see how he doesn't make playoffs. So a lot of these, like, not to dog on these guys, but they're 5-9 and they're in the playoff race. Kind of crazy, but I feel like that. So yeah. Kind of move on to the power rankings. 10th place. Who played who? Let me pull up the screenshot of the game schedule, because this week was kind of long. Okay. It was this week, right? Who did I play? Last Minute Line News and Ash. Okay, so this is this week. Who did B play? He played Chris. No, this isn't the right week. I think it was this week, right? No, because that week I played Tanner. Oh, no. Okay, it's this week. It's these 2 weeks. So, B played Tabs and me. No, Tabs and me. Who did Preston play? Preston played JC and M. Okay, so I'm going to put B in last, solely because his week was slightly easier than Preston's. But B had a rough week. I think he went to game 3 against Tabs. Let me just check though. Yeah, he did go to game 3 against Tabs. He brought that close, but his game against me, little on the rougher side for him. Definitely a tough game. Yeah, but his game against Tabs is really close. Showed that he is playoff. Like, if he won against Tabs, I'd probably put him like 6 or something, or 5. But the fact that he just couldn't clutch it up when he needed to, tough. Really tough. But again, it was a good set. He made it competitive, but just fell slightly short. Again, if Tabs lost that game, playoffs picture's a little bit different right now. But again, he had a tough week, but I think he can. I think if he wins out, he has a chance. It depends on who wins and loses. So Again, because who does B play the rest of the season? B plays... Does he play one of the top 3 teams? That's all I care about. Plays Tanner. Oh. He plays Tanner and JC as 2 of his 4 last games. So unless B can clutch up in those games, I really don't think he's going to make playoffs, because they saved him some hard games at the end, and he needs to clutch up in them, and if he doesn't, I really don't see him making... I'm sorry, B, but I don't see how you make playoffs unless you can beat Tanner and JC. Again, Chris did it, so I think you can do it. Well, he didn't beat JC, he beat me, but top 3 team, you know what I mean? You know what I mean. But if Chris can do it, I believe B can do it. B's been performing a little bit consistently better than Chris. He's been more consistent than Chris, but Chris's spikes of when he's playing good is better than B. That's what I'm saying. But next up, Carolina Conkelders. Really just an off week. Like, Scissor had 50 kills last week, and he's at 52. He only got 2 kills this week. This is the most quiet week Scissor's had in like 3 or 4 weeks. Past like 3 or 4 weeks, or the past like 2 to 3 weeks, Scissor's been on a rampage. Like the middle of this season, Scissor went nuts, but the beginning and now towards the end when he needs him the most, starting to fall off a little bit. Again, Preston, who'd he play? He played Woo and JC. So, not the easiest of weeks for him, but definitely a little sussy, to say the least. But yeah. Who does Preston play? Mnez, Chris. No, we're on this. Jesus Christ. So he plays Chris and me, and then he plays... So he's in a similar so Preston's in a similar situation with B. He has to play 2 of the 4 top teams in his last 4 games. And unless he can clutch that up like Chris, I don't see Preston making playoffs either. It's brutal to say, but really, when you play the top teams, like me and Tan, like, again, towards the end of the season, I've been playing a little bit more lenient, so I could see the upset against me for Preston, but Tanner, he's been playing serious the whole way through, so unless Preston can beat me, unless he can beat me and Tanner, again, I just don't see, because, like, that's half his games left of the season, right? 2 of the 4 he needs to win, but they're against the top teams that have been performing well all season. And he can't really afford to lose any more games, because the competition is so fierce in his, like, ranking right now that he really needs to step it up and beat me and Tanner. If he can't beat me and Tanner, it's going to be the same fate as B. But again, if Chris can do it, I believe these 2 can do it. I'm excited to see what they can do. Number 8. What am I going to put here? I think everyone else went like 1-1 except for JC, right? Well, no, 2 teams went 2-0 this week. Chris and JC. Okay, so everyone else went 1-1. Well, who did? Okay. Let me see. Who played who? Chase played Tabs, and he played JC. Did Chase lose Tabs? I forget. I honestly forget. I don't even remember that set. Why don't I remember that set at all? So that's Woo versus Chase. So where's Tabs versus Chase? That's Woo versus Chase versus Tabs versus Chase. Did we play the wrong games, or am I looking at this wrong? God damn it, I am looking. Fuck. Okay, so who did Chase play? He played Wu. And he played... Where is he? He played JC. He beat Wu, right? I gotta make sure. Yeah, no, he did beat Wu. He did beat Wu. Okay. Who did Wu play? Who did Wu play? Chase. He's in tabs, right? Yeah, tabs. Okay. Honestly, well, who else played who? Let me see. Okay. I'm gonna just... You can put them in any order. Because I really think you can. These are interchangeable. These two are interchangeable. They had pretty even weeks. I guess since Chase beat Wu, you can just do this. If it makes Chase feel better, I guess. I don't know. But really, the 7 and 8 this week between Wu and Chase is pretty interchangeable, I'd say. No, I think Chase, we will give Chase solid 7, because Chase had the harder week. Chase played Wu, who he beat. Then he played JC, which is a very, very close set. He did get 2-0'd like the last... Both Chase's sets against JC, he got 2-0'd, but they're like very close 2-0s. So again, it doesn't tell the full story, but Chase played well, just unfortunate. They couldn't bring it up against JC. He made him a couple misplays in his set, but it's okay. It's all good. And Wu tried out not bringing Sand Rush Drill and almost bit him in the ass, I think. Did it? I think so. Well, no, I forget, but went 1-1, so he's still holding it. He still has his head above the water, but let's see. Who does Wu play the rest of the season? So this is last week. Wu plays B, JC, Emnez, and Chris. Okay, so he plays what? He plays number 4 in Emnez, and he plays JC, who's number 1. So still very tough for him. I'll be honest, still very tough for him. But will he make play? My assumption is maybe not, because this game against JC, he kind of has to win, but he can afford to lose this one. But if he loses against JC, he has to beat Emnez. Has to beat Emnez. If he loses to both, he doesn't make playoffs. So Wu is on a very tight leash. And Chase, let's see who he plays out. Emnez and Chris. Me and Tanner. Oh boy. Yeah, I don't think Chase will make playoffs either, because he plays 3 of the top 4 teams to round out his season. And that's brutal. That's brutal. Chase, like... Well, Chase beat Tanner before. Chase did beat Tanner before. What happened again? Who knows? But Chase, he has to beat Chris, and he has to beat Emnez. He has to go 2-0 next week, I think, for him to make playoffs, for him to feel like good about it. Because if he goes 0-2 or like 1-1 this week, that puts him in a position where he has to beat both me and Tanner. And I don't think Tanner wants to lose to his brother twice in the same season. So this is gonna be a very big game for Chase. Like, his last week is gonna be insanely difficult. Insanely difficult. But yeah, Chase. Let's keep going. 6. I'm gonna put myself. I played the 2 teams that are tied in last place, and I lost one of them. Obviously, my prep was very shit. I'll just be straight up. It was very terrible, but that doesn't excuse me from doing that. Chris played extremely well. He had great sets, and it just came down to prep, and he out-prepped me, and it showed. My game against B, different story. It was kind of like the reverse, but yeah. Chris, my game against Chris, I just copy and pasted same team. I knew the risk going into it of doing that, and I paid the price. So that's why I'm number 6 this week. You guys might be saying I fell off after my big 8-0, or my big, what was it, 8-0 or not? My big 8-0 streak to start the season. But really, I'm waiting for play. Like, really, for me, I'm waiting. Like, if I open up my showdown right now, I can show you my teams for the rest of the season. I literally got done prepping for them like a half an hour before I started recording this video. So, I'm already set for the rest of the season. Whether that scares my opponents or not, I'm ready for the rest of the season. Week 8 and Week 9, I'm prepped for. So, again, I'm just kind of biding my time for playoffs. Because, again, I'm in another league, the PDL. So, now that I'm done with this, the next like 2 weeks I can focus on PDL, and then once the playoffs start happening for Big Juice, I can start going full mode into this again. But yeah, kind of just like since I won on that big massive 8-0 win streak, it kind of allowed me to play very passively in the second half, which means I can kind of take a break a little bit. Obviously, I still want to get that top 3 seeding. But really, as long as I make playoffs, which I basically am guaranteed at this point, I really don't care if I win or lose the rest of my games. Like, obviously I want to win, but it's not the end of the world for me, so yeah. No excuses though. Chris bozo checked me hard, and my game against B, I bozoed him, unfortunately, for B, but yeah. Moving on to number 5. Put Tabs here. Tabs had some good games. Who did he play again? Let me just refresh my memory. He played B. He played Woo. Again, 2 people that are in the race for playoffs. So for him to knock them both down, I kind of like secures in my mind at least. Or no. Did he beat Woo? No, Woo beat him. Right? Hold on, I'm confusing myself. Yeah, Woo beat him, I'm pretty sure. Oh, yeah, no, Woo beat him. Looking at the matchup, Woo beat him. I remember. So he beat B, who's in the race for playoffs. Showed him that he secured it on Saturday, but his game against Woo, different story. Obviously, it was a very hacks-filled game. He was missing a lot of high jump kicks. He was missing toxics. A lot of shit wasn't going in the way for Tabs, but hacks aside, I do think Woo was playing better? But really, with that much hacks, it's hard to say. Woo was playing good. There's no doubt about that, but the set probably goes with game 3 or gets a lot closer than how it was if he doesn't misses all those moves. But again, I think Woo would have won that set either way, hacks or not. Woo was just playing good. Actually, let's do this. Do I want to do this? No. Let's see, put it back. And we'll do this. Sorry, so these 4 teams right here, they all had pretty similar weeks in my mind, so it's like, oh no. Damn, man, what the fuck? Because I think Tanner had a pretty not good week either. I mean, I think he played better than the rest of us. So who did Mnez play? Who did Mnez play? Mnez played Tanner. He played Preston. It gets so hard because everyone played like good and bad. Like it's getting competitive, and that's what I'm saying. And it's like, I would say these four teams right here, they kind of had similar weeks, and then these two teams were slightly like all of these teams went 1-1, right? All these teams went 1-1, but I would say these four teams all had very similar weeks. They all kind of did good and then did bad. And then these two teams, they went 1-1, but their games were like, their games that they lost were slightly more competitive than the ones that, like, the 5 through 8 lost. So, again, it's hard to really do power rankings this week because it was pretty close, but, yeah. I think this looks fair to me, personally. Tanner, I mean, if I can make an excuse, I'll use it, even though I said no excuses. I literally copy and pasted the same team and just did Solar Beam on Dragapult for Chris. But Tanner, he full on prepped and still lost. So, I mean, what do? But yeah, it's really weird because Tanner had a great set of weeks back to back where he beat me and JC pretty convincingly, but he's also managed to lose to Chris and Chase, which I guess I lost to Chris too, so I can't be saying much, but yeah, it's weird. Like Tanner had a good back-to-back week where he showed up and he proved that he is championship ready, but then he managed to lose to Chase and Chris. So I don't know. Take it as you will. I don't really care. I'm not trying to start beef. That's just how I see it. Yeah. Got a hair in my fucking mustache. There we go. Let's just finish this. I'm losing it. Number 2 is the Queen City Quaxleys. Again, just dominant performance from them. Who did they play? Chase and Preston had a little bit easier of a week. But again, showed up, did their thing. Number 1, from last place, 0 to hero, the Arizona Ash catch. If anyone contests the number 1 spot this week, you're fucking wrong. You are just objectively wrong. Chris went out of his mind, and he had 2 of the hardest fucking sets of his life, and he came out and fucking won. Honestly, after this week, let me just, we're gonna do some playoff predicting real quick, okay? We're gonna do some fucking playoff goddamn predicting, alright? It's gonna be a 2 goddamn part video, because I really want to talk about this at the end. Number 1, JC, he's probably gonna win out and be like, so we play 18, he's probably gonna be 16-2. 2, probably gonna beat Tanner. He's probably gonna beat me this weekend. Why? I'm not gonna explain it, but he's probably gonna beat me. 3 is gonna be me. 4 is gonna be MS. So that top 4 is locked up. Now these 5 and 6, a little bit different. Why? Because I think Tabs. Let me see who Tabs plays out the rest. He plays JC and MS. Okay, and then he plays Chris. Okay. So Tabs might not even make playoffs. Hold on. Because he has to play 3 of the top 4 teams and JC and Mnez in the same week. And then he has to play Chris, who's been on the come up. I still think it's in Tabs' favor at the moment, but depending on how Chris plays in week 8, who knows? But then his last game of the season is me. I might gatekeep Tabs from playoffs. As much as that hurts me to say, I might gatekeep him from playoffs. So really, the 5 and 6 seed is up for grabs, in my opinion. 5 and 6 are up for grabs. Tabs is safe for now, but he's got a hell of an end of the season for him. If I were to give my personal opinion on who's getting 5th and 6th, all right, let's open up a new doc real quick. What is this? Okay, let's get rid of this. Okay. 1, Queen City Quaxes. 2, Monroe Minans. 3 is gonna be the Philadelphia Flygons. 4 is gonna be the Last Minute Linoons. 5 and 6. Alright, so let's go over this, okay? Because this is very important for playoffs. As much as I sound like a crackhead right now, this is extremely important for playoffs. Because the end of the season matters a lot. And Tabs has probably the hardest end of the season. Probably. Because he plays 3 of the top 4. So honestly, I don't think Tabs is making playoffs. I really don't. He could prove me wrong. But... because really, he needs to win one of these. If he loses both of his games next week, I think if he loses both of his games next week, he's forced to beat me and Chris. No way around it. Now, if he manages to go 1-1 here and 1-1 here, I think he can scoot it out. But he cannot afford to have an 0-2 week next week. And if he does, in my mind, he's out. Because he has to beat me and Chris. And I think my last game against Tabs was pretty good for me. And again, I already have my team for him, so I'm pretty confident in my ability. So yeah. Again, he just cannot afford to go 0-2 next week. He has to beat Mnaz or JC. Has to beat them. But really, let's see. So, in my opinion, who does Chris play? Chris... So he plays Preston, and he plays Chase. Manageable games for him. And he plays Tabs. And he plays Woo. These are all games that Chris can win. I'm a little Chris biased after this week, but I feel like you have to be. He beat 2 of the top. He beat number 2 and the 2 teams that were tied in number 2. And really, the rest of his games, he doesn't play JC and he doesn't play Mnaz. So, really, he's within his own skill range now, and he's proven that he can beat the top 2 teams. So, honestly, I'm putting Chris here. I think Chris is definitely, well, whether it'll be 5 or 6 seed, who knows, but I think Chris is making, genuinely, I think Chris is making playoffs now. Now, for that last number 6 slot, we're gonna get sussy. Let's see. B plays Woo. JC. Tanner, JC. Yeah, so he plays JC and Tanner. No, I'm getting so confused with this shit. He plays Woo. Tanner next week, and then the last week he plays JC. Yeah, so he's in the same position as Chris. They're both 4-10, so if they want to make it, they basically have to win out here. And playing Tanner Sunday of week 8 and JC Saturday of week 9 gonna be extremely. I really don't, he's forced into a position where he has to win out, and I think he can beat Tanner or JC, but I don't think he's beating both. I don't. It's tough to say, but I don't. So who else? So I think. So I already have 2 of the teams. I don't think B. Let me put stars around them. I don't think B. I don't think Tabs is making it to playoffs. That's my prediction as of now. Again, I could be wrong, but again, that's what I'm saying. So I'm gonna mark them red. All right, so this is 2 down. We need to figure out 2 more teams. Let's see Preston. Who does Preston play out? Preston plays Chris and me. And he plays Tanner. Okay, so Preston, he needs to win against me or Tanner. He can afford to go 1-1 one of his weeks, but he has to beat me or Tanner in one of those games. If he loses to both of us, I don't think Preston can afford to go 1-1. I don't like. He's in that weird territory, so I'm gonna skip Preston for now, but it's gonna be tough. See Chase. Who does Chase play out? Chase, last minute Linoons, and Chris. Then he plays me and. Okay, so Chase isn't making playoffs. Again, he has a brutal end of the season. Absolutely brutal. Call me biased. I don't care, but he has to play Emnez, me, and Tanner 3 of his last 4 games. Again, he beat Tanner. He's got to give him the edge there, but I really don't. Tanner is out for blood. He's out for blood. In my opinion, I think Tanner's out for blood. So, yeah. Chase, please prove me wrong, Chase. You always want me to go against you because apparently you play better when I go against you. But please prove me wrong. Please, please, please. I want to see it. And then for the last team, so let's see who Wu plays out. Who does Wu play out? Wu plays B and JC. Then he plays M. Ooh, okay, so Wu's on that sussy territory too. Who else am I missing? Let's do Preston next. Who does Preston play out? Preston plays Chris and me. Oh no, we already went over Preston. So, I think if we're being the most fair, I think Chris is less likely to make playoffs. And I say that, hear me out. I know I was sucking his dick like the whole video, but hear me out. I'm saying that because Wu and Preston, that extra win helps them out immensely because it puts the pressure off of them a little bit that they can afford to lose one of their games. They can afford to lose one of their games. But they cannot afford to go 0-2 in 1 week because that puts the pressure on them to go 2-0 the next week. But essentially, Wu and Preston, they're in a position where they need to win. They need to go 3-1 in the last 3 weeks. Chris has to go 4-0. Has to go 4-0. So, again, very sussy on it. I'm not gonna mark Chris red. I'm not gonna mark Chris red. As much as the odds are against him, I think his schedule is a little easier. But I'll mark them yellow. That's a terrible card. I'm gonna mark them on a fucking dock sheet. What the fuck are you doing? I'll mark them purple. Again, this is just my opinion. I could be wrong about Tabs and Chase. B, I really, again, B's already had an incredible enough season just coming in new and just playing the way he has. I think B is unlikely because his end of season's tough. Chase, his end of season is absolutely brutal as well. And Tabs, who does he play again? JC, Emnez. Yeah, I stand by my decisions. The teams in red, I don't think they're making playoffs. Now the teams in purple, there's hope. Chris has to win out if he wants to make playoffs, like I've been saying. But Wu and Preston, they both play Chris. So, and in my opinion, they have to beat Chris because they play some other very tough opponents. So they have to beat Chris. If either of them loses to Chris, in my opinion, they're immediately knocked from playoffs. So again, this is my current playoff standings. That's a really bright color. Let's knock it down a bit. Okay, so teams in green are clinched, in my opinion. I think they're making it. Teams in red, their end of season is very tough. I don't think they're gonna make it. And then the teams in purple, those are the teams, in my opinion, that are really in competition with each other. Obviously, these teams in red, they can prove me wrong. Absolutely can prove me wrong. But the way that their end of season is playing out, looking extremely tough, very tough for them. But again, I kind of did 2 videos in one because I got on a huge rant with Chris. But again, these are the objective standings for week 7, and these are the power rankings for who played the best and who played the worst. Again, I think these 4 are kind of interchangeable, and these 2 are kind of interchangeable or whatever. But I think top 2 and bottom 2 I think are pretty solidly there. And then again, this is my playoff picture. If I were to put a 5 and 6 seed, I'll put Chris in like 6. And then I'll put Boo/Preston. And again, just so you guys get like a little visual indicator with this, so JC would be here, Tanner's would be here, and then in the quarters, I would be playing Chris, which is pretty scary for me to be honest, because he fucking destroyed me this past week. Kind of scary for me. And then in this 4 and 5 game, it'd be Emnes versus Woo or Preston. In my current playoff prediction, this is what the games would be. So again, exciting to look forward to playoffs. The 3 B, Chase, and Tabs, please prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. It's either show up, or it's either put up or shut it, or show up, or you know what I'm saying. Maybe not. I'm just speaking garbage, and I'm losing it. My mental's fried, but you get what I'm saying. It's do or die time. Last 2 weeks. Again, 4 games left out of the 18. This is like do or die. Like, do or die time. Come on. Because let's put it this way. 2 weeks. Well, what's in 2 weeks? Let's see this. So the 11th. So the league. So Big Juice won't end for another month until after September 18th. Because we have like 3 weeks of playoffs. So really. And then if we have like a tiebreaker for 6 seed, that's another like week delay, because like whoever plays has to get their prep in and their games in for that week just to get the tiebreaker done. That's why we should have differential again. Just saying. But again, like the Big Juice is ending like the 16th or 23rd, somewhere on this Sunday or Saturday, depending on the championship teams want to play. But again, whoever loses or doesn't make playoffs in the last 2 weeks, they're done playing until like December, because Sword and Shield come out the 18th, or Scarlet and Violet come out the 18th, and I think what we're doing is having like a 2-week delay, which is still pretty fast. I think we're going to have a 2-week delay to find out what new Pokemon are good, what new Pokemon are bad, and then I think we're going to do the draft on the 3rd or the 10th, depending on everyone's scheduling, and all that. So the teams that get knocked out of playoffs in the next 2 weeks, they're not playing for like another 3 months. It sucks. It sucks, because I would love to go into another season, but with Scarlet and Violet right out on the corner, obviously there's no point. No one would want to do it without all the new Hisuian Mons and new Mons and Scarlet and Violet. So really, if you get knocked out of this tournament, if you get knocked out of playoffs, you're basically you're on a 3-month break essentially. Obviously in the off season we have a lot of stuff to plan to keep everyone going, a lot of tournaments that we want to do, fun tournaments, doubles tournaments, VGC tournaments, singles tournaments, whatever. But as it goes for draft league games in the Big Juice Championship League, you're essentially off for 3 months. Whether that's a curse or a blessing for you, you're essentially off for 3 months. So very, very scary times in the Big Juice. Again, teams marked in red prove me wrong, but that's going to be the video. Extremely long one today, but I had to rant about what I had to rant about. Yeah, I'm going to get out of here now. I'm going to stop rambling. Hope you guys have a good day.